Now, let us look at another example using the layout function. Now I'm going to create this matrix. So this is just a way in which I'm creating variables. Okay, we are not doing anything fancy. It's just a way of creating a variable. So I'm going to say lay.maths to specify this matrix that we want to use for the layout. Okay, so I didn't do anything fancy. So I'm going to come in here and say I'm going to create this matrix. So let's say I'm going to use these numbers, right? And I'm going to say this matrix. So let us see this matrix. So this is just a way of creating a matrix. Okay, I did not do anything fancy. So this matrix over here, you can see it is a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, remember these values, they tells you that plot 1 will take this position, and then you have plot 2. However, when it comes to plot 3, it will stretch itself over these two cells. That is an example of what we have seen when we had 1, 1, 1. So we saw that histogram, it was stretching itself on the first position. So in this case, we want the third plot to stretch itself over these two bottom cells. Okay, now if you come in here, you come and say layout. Okay, and then you provide this matrix lay.maths. So run this. So here is this device has been created. We can also go ahead and see the layout, right, by using layout.show. So this function layout.show, so it allows us to be able to see this specification, so we can see how these plots will be placed. Okay, so if we come in here and we specify this and say, so I'm going to use the max function and say lay dot. So if we run this, so now, as I did mention, you can see that this third plot is stretching over these two cells, but these plot 1 and plot 2, they are just remaining on these cells. So this here is how you can even see how your plot will be placed. Now that we have seen the layout, let us go ahead and use this data set. So this data set that we are going to use is found on the maths package. And this data set is, so we're going to use the survey data set. Okay, so it contains a number of columns. So you can go ahead and go to the help tab in order. These are the respondents to a number of questions. So you can see here we have sex, we have this here, which is a span, right? So the is the span of writing hand. Okay, so you can see it is in centimeters and the span of non-writing hand. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to first plot a relationship. So we're gonna do what? Between a writing hand span and height. Okay, and we're gonna use height. So if you run this here is our plot. So let me try to. Okay, so now it looks better. Okay, now let's say we also want the box plots. Okay, so we want the box plots, but now we're going to use height also. Okay, now we want to group by the smoking frequency. So we're going to say survey, and then we're going to come here and say smoke. All right, so if you run this, so now we have managed to create a grouped box plot. Now let's say we want to also have a bar plot that shows how often a student exercise. So this here is bar plot. So if you run this, okay, so we first have to convert this. So using the function table, right? So if run this. So now this here is an example of this bar plot. So this is how you can play around using the layout function in order to set your specific layout. Remember, we also use layout.show in order to see how will these graphics be created.